What is the latest? Well, I'll tell you. What's the latest for me? Well, as you know, it's Saturday. I don't typically work on my game too often, but I have, as you can see, purchased another game. I know. The guy who's been complaining about how poor he is. But really, I consider it market research. We'll call it market research. Yeah. We'll go with that. So, um, this is a brand new game by, I guess, an indie studio. Let's see. What does the store page say? Store page says it's by Nekolich Games. I don't know if they've done other games. Have they done other games? No. This is their first, it looks like. Well, at least there's no other listings for them. Yep, no other listings, no other English listings. As you know, okay, you might not know because I don't have a lot of people who've been regular followers of me. So I will state this. I have done a number of I do live reviews. I oftentimes will edit them. I try to do an edited version of some of my videos, and I will try and do that again with this. I'm actually going to try and do a more professional, or not professional, let's just say more edited versions of all of my reviews for these football games. I'm going to try and do some more of that as time goes on. But some might say this is a conflict of interest or maybe biased reviews, and I get it. As you know, I'm developing my own football simulation manager, and it's kind of weird, right? That I'm buying and playing and reviewing these other games. One, I like football management simulation games to an extent. The whole reason I started developing my own is because they're not reaching the extent I want to get. I want the game, right? Now, the one game I haven't tried, the one game I haven't tried at all. I've tried parts of some of the, I think it's Red Zone or something. Red Zone Online. It's a web. There's two web ones, and I've played them both to some level. I kind of lost interest. They were just a little too clunky. I don't know. Something about them. They were weird to me. I will do a review on what I've done in the past. I will go over all those again that I've done. They're free to plays. They're online web ones. I did Gridiron Masters a couple weeks back when it came out, so I guess it might be a couple months back. I was kind of let down. It was very AI, I think. It was also kind of just didn't do much. You had very little oomph. The other game I heard pretty good things about, College Football Dynasty. To me, had very little going for it either. I mean, it was clean, it was neat. I do like the news aspect of it. One of the things I would love to figure out how to do something like that. I haven't. I don't know how I'm going to do that in my game. I know people are figuring out ways. It must be using AI to some way to figure out what the game of the weeks are going to be and how it's getting that information. I don't know. I'm impressed by what people have managed to pull together for those things. This game supposedly has some of that. And I think it's fun to have that because it brings a little bit alive, a little anticipation for the big game, lets the whole world know that, hey, there's this big game coming up. But I don't, how big is this local drive? It requires, it's a small game. It's only 418 megabytes. To me, that feels small. But then I don't think this is using a graphics engine. Or if it is, it's using I want to say maybe Godot. It seems very basic. I mean, this is all about pages, right? Basic pages. Now, maybe I'm wrong. It could be using Unity or something like that. It could I think it's just as likely it's being written in something like no game engine at all, just Godot or React or something like that, or you know, some other web language that they just compiled in. Maybe they just did it in some maybe JavaScript or something. I don't know. I don't know the language it uses. All I know is that it doesn't look like anything that needs graphics because it's not doing a lot of graphical stuff. I mean, you get some cool pages. Let's go ahead and look at it. Let's stop talking about why I bought it, because I like to review the other games. To me, it's important too, because I want to know how it compares to what I believe is going to be in my game. Some stuff is in development. What I believe it does that mine doesn't do. Do I want mine to do it? I don't know. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Especially if it's bad, I probably don't. But that said, I do have a fair amount of interest in the competition, and good competition. Oh no, I wish, man. I wish. I'm not there yet. But hey, I've made cool progress, man. I've actually started the simulation process. I've actually got it now where all that year and a half of work prior to my game um, is finally starting to simulate. Starting. I've got it where I've got all my players reading from the rosters that have been developed. They're loading into the game, and then they run onto the field, and then the kick is made, and the receiving team catches the ball, and okay, that's it. That's as far as I've gotten. But it's only because I just recently started getting it, and it's required me to build a lot of debugging infrastructure. Like I had to start building up a bunch of logging, so I can kind of see the progress of the play, what events are happening in the player actions. So it's taken me quite a bit over the last week and a half of building me up a testing infrastructure to allow me to make sure that as the players are executing all of the skill checks and route actions that I'm giving them, that they're executing all that stuff live. Now, I don't know what these games are doing. Okay, so these other guys are making football games that you know they have a ton of stats. Like look at football front office football 9. I haven't played it, but what did it say? One of its claims is it's got 200 pages of of stats or of stuff. To me, is like what that means. That you can go through the entire life of playing that game and never see 200 pages. Why would you? That's just so much stuff. Deer in the headlights. But anyway, I haven't actually played that game yet, mostly because it's the most expensive football management simulation out there, and I am broke. So it's got to be really cheap for me to justify. But lately I've played all of the, I would say I've played all of the mobile games, because my game's going to be a mobile game too. It's also going to be a PC game, which, by the way, I believe my game as of this moment is the only football management sim that will be playing cross device. Like you can play on mobile and PC. Now I could be wrong. Maybe football. No, I don't think front office football does it. Now there are games that. Oh no, I don't even think Madden does it. I think Madden's mobile is a separate game from their PC version. But I think as of this moment, because I'm sure somebody will do it eventually if they haven't yet, created a game. Now, the question people might ask is it going to be truly different? I mean, how is it different from just running it in BlueStacks, right? You know, a mobile game in BlueStacks. Well, for one, it'll be designed to work in a bigger interface. There will be PC features that won't be on the mobile. Like I'm expecting to at some point have a play editor, which will only be available on the PC. It might only be available on web because that's where I developed it at. It's in React. It's a web thing. And but you need a bigger screen to be able to manipulate my play editor. And I'll tell you what, my play editor is kind of complex, so it might not be in the initial release. Maybe later, because I have to get it cleaned up, make it really solid. Right now, I can function with it and create all my plays with it. But I think it's really easy to, if you don't know how it's intended to be used, would be broken, very easily broken by players trying to use it, and I'd have all these weird. I mean, it would not work. So I have to make sure I can put all the guardrails in for the play editor to work. So that's a down the road feature, but I will probably have features that are specific to the PC game, and the free version of the mobile game won't connect to the network. So you can play it offline, which is a good thing for mobile if you don't want to be involved with other people. But there will be features that aren't available. That so there's going to be things that expand as you buy features. So having the PC version is like an upgrade, or buying the PC version gives you the mobile one, because the mobile one is kind of an extension of the PC version, except it doesn't require it, kind of thing. We're not there yet. I mean, that's how it's being built right now, is that it's both parts work, but they're not like dependent on each other, that kind of thing. So anyway, I know I derailed, you derailed me, but that's okay. I liked, I mean, obviously when I talk about these other games, this game, Football Dynasty Manager, just came out literally 2 days ago. It says 8.6. There's only 3 reviews on it. I had never heard of it. I just found it by accident, because every few weeks I go on and go, American football, what's out there? And this one is $13. So if you want to try another football management sim, this is cheap. It's $14 or $15, but they have a release 10%. Honestly, I went to where I consider right now one of the better Reddit locations to talk about your new management game, because they kind of have a pretty well what do you call it, a well-known centralized game management simulation game Reddit discussion. They also do like Twitch. If you check them out, GM Games, they do reviews on all kinds of simulation games. I've never heard of this one. It doesn't show up on the Reddit. It doesn't show. I don't even know if it shows up on Twitch. Let's go see what Twitch. I having never played it, I actually posted on the GM Games website. Wait, what happened? Did this not go? Must contain post flare. What the heck is post flare? What is that? Post flare. Well, add flares and tags. What is this? Promotion, spoiler, brand, no flare. You can't do no flare. View all flares. Information, discussion. Does it have multiplayer league? I don't think it has multiplayer league. Maybe. How about discussion? Because it's not my game. There we go. I'm being a nice guy. I'm promoting on behalf of these guys who didn't bother to promote their own game. But I also said that I haven't actually played it yet. I'm doing a review on it right now. Right now, you're going to see me go through this game, Football Dynasty Manager, just released. It's a football management sim, and we'll call it First Impressions. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go on, be smart about this. Let's change my title. Sorry, guys. I forgot I didn't even change the title to my, oh, stop it. I didn't even change the title to my, let's see, game review. Football Dynasty Manager. Oh, go away. Hold on. I can't type. Let's see. Brand new competition for my game was released 8/6/2026. First impression and review. Now, can I get a full unbiased review? I feel like I can be unbiased. I know, weird, right? I feel like I can be unbiased on a game that is a direct competition of my own that isn't released yet, because I'm that kind of guy. I'm that kind of guy. I can be unbiased. um, I can also be terrified. Honestly, I can be terrified because if I opened up a game and Football Dynasty Manager and it had everything I ever wanted in a sim and all the things that my mind that I've been working so hard to get done was already here in front of me, it'd be kind of scary. I'd be a little worried. But let me say this. I don't think that's going to be the case because I kind of reviewed a few things in Steam before I did. And one, I have one criticism right off the gate. I will hold it for just a moment though. We're going to do pro football because I like pro football. And besides, that's what my game is. Mine is pro football. I did play College Football Dynasty. I am curious about the college stuff because I did play College Football Dynasty, but I don't know enough about college to know all the things that can go on in it. And I don't know if I want to get too caught up in the. So let me step back just a moment and say this is impressive. College football games that I have seen and pro football games that I have seen are different. They're different, fundamentally different animals. Yes, you need to get players in for college, you need to get players in for pro, but they function differently. You've got a different fan base if you're doing fan stuff, how that kind of works. Your coaches are different, salaries are different. You got salary caps, and you've got crazy. I mean, they have nil contracts now that go with players, which gives college a little bit more of the money aspect. But truly, college football and pro football require completely different kinds of recruiting, different kinds of. They are not the same beast in total. I mean, other than they're both playing football and you need players, so you got some basic stuff, but to include both in your game is impressive. So they figured out a way to find the common denominators to allow them to do as much as they can in two different, fundamentally different versions of football. It'd be like saying you're doing college football or you're doing professional football and rugby. I mean, they're different. Even the rules vary in college. So you're doing a lot of different things. But I will do pro. I'm going to use the default. They do go on to set up JSON universe. So I guess that's so you can import your own team names, I guess, and player names. It allows you to. It allows what that does is it makes it so games can get around the NFL names and licenses, right? Because you're not putting that in your game. Hey, all I did is allow them to put stuff in. They just happen to pick that in. What they do on their own game is their own business. But here's kind of the problem with that for me on my game. I want to do that. And I might do it to some extent. I got to kind of see how that works. But my game has multiplayer leagues where, other users can be in your same league. So that would mean that I have to not only allow people to import into the game, I have to share that data into the back end so that it can be shared with other people in the league, right? So I don't know if that becomes a problem because if I allow people to put stuff in that's going to be shared with other people, that could mean that I suddenly become, hey, I'm propagating, therefore providing likenesses and team names and stuff to other. I won't have likenesses, forget that, but I'll have names and team names and that kind of thing. But so I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be functional in mine. I thought about maybe allowing people to put that in for their AI games. So it'll basically put aliases on all the team names. The teams are still the teams. You're just, when you import stuff, it becomes alias to you. You only see these names. Other people won't see those names. But then it becomes confusing if you're in a multiplayer league and you're calling your team the Denver Broncos and someone else is going, what the heck is there's no Denver Broncos. Like, Yeah, there is. It's the V-Born Scorned or whatever. So they would have to know that. So anyway, I'm just gonna go with the default universe. Okay, so this is the start of how the game goes. Obviously, they're not using NFC, AFC teams. My game starts off a little bit different from this. I don't know how they're building this up. Um, Here's my first knock. If I have to say a knock, so sorry guys, I have to start you off with a knock. A knock would be a negative. It looks like all the other games. College Football Dynasty. Look at College Football Dynasty. And I can even go like look at if I go let's go look at front office football, which by the way I think is kind of the big one in in this genre, right? Now, do I think they're the best? Some people think they are, some people not so much. But these guys have screenshots on their game too. Now, look at this coloring, this setup, right? Tons of oh god, I hate it. This is one of the reasons why I don't buy this one too, is because it's just so many. It's so much stuff, and it just lines. It just looks like a spreadsheet hell to me. But look at the coloring of this game. All right. Let's see if I can. I'm trying to find some screens that aren't just lists of spreadsheets. These guys, to me, did not even bother to try to look like a game. They look like just the fancy pants. Why do you do that? That looks terrible. The aesthetic of that. Okay. Hold on. I know this isn't your game. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find a page that isn't. Oh, I guess these guys just don't really do a lot. All right. We'll just go with that one. Okay. So look at the coloring on this. Okay. So it has a little bit of color. So does theirs. So does this game to some extent. But um, it's the same basic thing, dark kind of gray color, white letters. That's kind of the going thing. And a lot of them, even if I open College Football Dynasty here, um, they look like the same game. Like if you were look at that. I mean, really, when you first open this, if you didn't have the words, would you even know that this was? Let's see, can I? Oh, I can't. It's going to put the top on no matter what. I was going to try to just show what this looks like without. But if you just took like the bottom half, I mean, the coloring is basically the same. It's like they went to AI and said, "Hey, I want a game that looks like this," and so it put together that whole theme of the same stuff. I'm not saying it's AI written. I don't know. They could have just copied the colors, but why? People, come on. Put your own design aesthetic in there. Think of something. Yeah, it looks good. It's clean, but there's other ways. Trust me. I am not artistic. And okay, my game might be not to some people's aesthetic, but my game looks nothing like any of these other games. It does a lot of the same stuff, but you don't even try to look like fun. Is there a better example? A better word? You're appealing to adults, I get it, who like football and like to manage games, and maybe you're appealing to people whose brain is focused only on the numbers and the text, and they don't care about the gaminess of it. I like the gaminess of games. I like games to look like something. You got buttons that have design and flash, characters that look like something that comes straight out of a video game. These don't. And yeah, you can do all this stuff. I'm doing it to some extent where you get to pick your, you know, so here's one of the things I'm doing with my game, and I don't know if it's better or worse, but you don't pick your division or conference. You pick your team, and the game will, you pick your team based on a few of the players that you get a review and their salary cap, and then you pick a name. Pick one of the names, and the names are actual NFL teams with different names, and their names are spelled different. Let's call it that way. And then the game will build up your league based on what you selected, and you will be in whatever division that team would be in. So you're not building up from division conference. You're building up based on your team. So, but if I wanted to be whoever the heck the Denver Broncos would be, you can see they're obviously just copying the NFL, which is fine. That's not a problem. I'm doing the same thing. I just do it with different names. So, um, it's interesting though that they have this. So they must have built this around a little bit like college football Dynasty does, where the teams have prestige, but they're doing it for professional, which is interesting. Um, I guess that makes it easier to draft players. So if you'd have gone back 10 years, Denver would have probably been up here. Let's see. Denver Peaks opened the pro branch with WFC identity, West Division pressure, and a prestige baseline of 82, whatever that means. We'll continue. I'm going to take Denver. Of course, I got to take Denver. Who wouldn't? I mean, who in their right mind would not take the Broncos? Don't argue. No argument. All right, so then we have select your role. General manager. Okay, so in my game, you are pretty much the GM, but you get to do other stuff. You get to do some coaching things. Yeah, I don't know if you'll be doing too much offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. That's kind of an interesting level of. It's an interesting level of control, I think, to give a game, the coordinator. I guess if you don't really want to be, choose how how you enter the franchise. This defines how the pro shall frames your first setup pass. Huh. I'm curious. Huh. So do you not do these other things? Is it like different games, or are you just? Huh. Let's go with, what do I feel like is the closest thing to fantasy football? Fantasy football. Not fantasy, fantasy. Different. Um, I mean, general manager? All right, let's go with general manager. Let's go with GM. Well, let's say Tazion Z. So let's make it. Let's go with my active mind gamer. Active mind gamer. How generic, huh? Like what? Oh, you know what I've been using? It's actually this. AM gamer. And it's Z. Because my last name is always Z. I don't know why. So don't ask. Birthplace. Wow, I was born in Colorado. What else? What other place would you be born in? Anywhere of 1,000 different places. Okay. Sure. 35 is close enough. A football identity balanced. Culture builder. Culture builder. That's interesting. Cap optimizer. Wow. Huh. I'm curious. This is definitely an interesting bunch of things. Does it say much about it? You don't know what you're getting. Let's just I'm gonna go with quarterback friendly. Why not? I like passing. Dream franchise. Well, I picked them. Confirmed coach. Confirmed coach. Oh, okay. So this is the this is how your coach is going to be built. I guess I could have read that. So your coach has these basic setups. Okay. Um you know what? I'm going to go with defense first. So you're basically building your coach. How does that work? How does that compare to Fan 2Z football? You don't build your coach. Your coaches build themselves. They're AI driven. But you get to hire and pick coaches that have different stuff, different ratings. But yeah, you would have to pick. Um, Maybe at the beginning you might get a default coach, and then you can go through and hire whoever. But yeah, you are not the coach, which is funny that it had me put my name in for the coach. Oh, but as the GM, huh? That's interesting. All right, I'm just gonna call the coach my game name because I'm the GM. It's not asking me my name. That's the coach's name. Archetype, tactician. Okay, so I am doing something similar with mine. I don't think they're called like this, but I think it's a good idea. So they're giving little bonuses to the coaches, which my game will do in a whole different way. But yeah, um, which looks good. I like the premise of what all this is doing. I don't know what it's doing. Let's see. Call sheet edge, stronger in-game execution on offense and defense. Film room boost. Oh, okay. So they're doing film room. I'm planning a film room. Counterpunch. Your team handles pressure situations more cleanly. Interesting. Situational mastery. The edge grows as the coach level rises. Well, that makes sense, right? So your coaches can level up. And my coaches don't level up. They do get smarter, or they can get smarter. Basically, what it is the AI is making. I keep saying the AI. It's the game AI. I'm not. It's not using an LLM, by the way. But I'm building in logic that will make the coaches adjust their game plans and make tweaks to try to make them more effective at their game. And each play has boons on it that can help your team in some way, either immediately or going forward. And some coaches will lean on certain boons more favorably because of their skills. That's how the plan is for the coaches. Motivator raises the locker room floor. Game day juice. Players get a broad ratings lift on Saturdays. Saturdays? Why Saturdays? Aren't pro football games on Sundays? Locker room floor. Morale is less likely to crater over time. Bounce back energy. Positive morale swings hit a little harder. Huh. Belief builder. The effect grows with your coach level. Well, that makes okay. So that's all. They're all going to be as your coach level increases at the bottom. Okay. Disciplinarian. Assignment sound. A real game day lift to awareness and discipline. No panic floor. Morale stays propped up even in a rough stretch. Huh. Interesting. Accountability. Standards hold the room together through adversity. Interesting. So again, this is cool. I'm impressed. It's just doing some of the things that I plan to do with mine. But I don't know. Again, I don't want to implement so much stuff that I can't get it all in there. I'm one guy. I don't know how long it took them to do this, and I don't even know how much of this is fully functional yet. I haven't gotten in there. Here's one of the things about these kind of cool features. They sound good on paper, right? And really, you don't have to implement a lot of this stuff. Let me rephrase. It is possible to say these things are happening and them not be happening in a lot of games because there really is no way to know when those things are having an effect, right? There's generally no way because games run. You see a little bars going up and down the field. You don't know what's happening. You don't know if your disciplinary thing happened. You don't know if your morale dropped too low or differently from it would if it was tactician or motivator. You have to know these things are actually occurring. But again, this game does some stuff that I think is potentially good, and I will find out more as I go on. What kind of coach do I want to be? I don't think You're dealing with adults. I've never been a big fan of being over disciplinarian with an adult, though there is punishment for being a doofus on the team, and sometimes you need to go. I like. Let's go with tactician. Why not? Let's go with the first one. Okay, so select difficulty. This is kind of weird. Freshman, varsity, all American. I picked pro. These are not pro difficulty levels. This is college difficulty levels. I think if you're playing pro, you should have the terminology of the game at least. See, a softer pro build. I would say you should have I only have 3 different difficulty levels on mine, and really I haven't decided the full range. I just know the coaches AI is going to be different difficulty. So your competition. There may be some other features and such that happen. Like I want to do some certain things with how progressions happen and how the other teams progress versus you, that kind of stuff. But I don't want to have. I got to be careful about some some things. But yeah, I don't currently have anything. I only have the 3 levels. Will I go higher? I could, um, like legendary or I only go to pro level, which is the most difficult. But maybe at one point I take that to the next level. It shouldn't be hard to make an extra hard one if people are finding pro too easy. But I still think a person selects pro, they should choose. They should change the nerve. It's not that hard to map your terminology. Map your terminology. That's it. That's what I got to say. Okay, so let's go on to the next. This is the baseline teams. Um, Neutral scouting quality, neutral contract market, neutral trades and job security, faster trades and a hotter seat, pricier user contracts, user contracts, lower scout certainty. I guess so. What's that? Less knowledge of the player. I don't know exactly how that would play out, but I guess your potential, your knowledge of potential might be might not be as good, right? Is that what that's saying? Oops, what did I do? No, go back. What did I just do? Huh. Okay. So let's just go with neutral. Salary cap rules. Era default. Uses the salary cap rules active in the selected start year. Okay, that's fine. Playoff size. Oh, salary cap on. Yeah, I gotta use salary cap. Wait, salary cap rules. Era default. Oh, okay. I'll just go with era default. By the way, my game has salary cap and you can't turn it off. Sorry. there's there's no turning off salary cap. I mean, it's potentially I get it. A lot of people like lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of options. Um, I don't know how many options I'll have in mind. I know you can change the one thing I have for options right now are the league size, which you can only really do at the beginning. They do have this is playoff size. My playoffs are determined by the size of your league. Let's go with era default. I have league size because there's 8, 16, 24, and 32 team leagues. Um, I thought about trying to do like exactly copy the way the NFL was, which would be weird because they had some really weird seasons if I wanted to go back all the way to Timbuktu, but I'm not. So I'm only going to go with sizes that change based on, I mean, it seems kind of silly to do a 28, 30, and a 32, which is basically the NFL size since they've been come into existence, right? I think they had 28, and then the Seahawks and the Bucks came in to make them 30, and then the Panthers and the Jaguars came in to make them 32. So, and I may have something off in there somewhere, but basically that's it, right? Trade difficulty, we'll go with standard, era default, draft scouting, reports reveal hidden ratings through the scouting process. Okay, so for my game, for fantasy football, there is potential on players and there is some knowledge of what you have on potential, but you there's certain stuff you'll know, certain things you won't. So it'll be different. I mean, I'm guessing it'll be different for every game. Every game does potential a little bit different. Some go all out and they just say, here, if you got good scouting, you get the full knowledge. This is your potential. But potential in my game, there's only a few games that do this, is not fixed. Potential's only what you think they can be, but potential changes based on what actually can be, right? Injuries, realistic. I like realistic. Now, this is interesting. Again, I'm trying to go for realistic. And if I feel like if injuries are realistic, then you don't need reduced and brutal. This means they set them at a certain point and they happen if they happen. This means maybe we went over a board and we have this. Or maybe you just don't want to get hurt. I get it. But such is the life of football, injuries happen. And therefore, this is probably not going to be in mine. There are no injury games, such as quick plays and head-to-heads, and games that you're just playing for. You just play as a we'll call it a diversion, a game test against friends or the world, and you just want to play against random people. Those exist, and they're non-injury games. Your team won't get hurt. But league games, yeah, you're taking a chance, such is the way of football. League expansion. That's interesting. Historical timeline. The starting league membership remains fixed. Dynamic. League growth can arrive ahead of the historical time. That's interesting. Huh. That's kind of cool. I mean, to have like a running thing where the league changes size. Huh. Yeah. Okay, so one of the things I discovered, I was looking at a game called I played this one a fair bit. It's one of the few games that kept my attention for quite a while, and I still open it every now and then. It's called The Program. It's a college football game on the mobile device. And I was looking at the ladder, the ratings of players over time. And I'm using real players with real stats that get converted to skills and ratings in the game that are actually used by the game. And I plan to have 15, 16 seasons. I probably won't have too old of data because it's hard to get all the skills and ratings I need without. If I do go back further, I might pull in other stuff and have to make up numbers for the other things, which will be fun. Because I'll have to create logic and stuff to kind of come up with decent baselines for those things. But anyway, with the 15 or 16 seasons, I'm like, okay, well, that's a decent amount. I could probably reuse players that never got drafted and kind of filter through them. But I kind of want players to come in as rookies, which means I only have 16 years of rookies. Here's the thing. Some players, if they like a game, if your game is popular, might play hundreds of games, hundreds of seasons. I saw some people had like, I want to say 400 seasons or even upwards of 1,000 seasons. Because it'd be like it's 2026 right now. I saw guys with 2,400 year seasons. So easily 400 seasons, which is just to me crazy. Which means I'll never have enough stats to feed that. So once you get out of a certain point, I am going to have to build an engine into my game, apparently, that makes up players. I have to make up players. I don't want to make up players, but I'm going to have to. So that's going to be interesting to start building fake players. I'm going to try to avoid them as much as possible, but I think what I'll end up doing is creating fake players as necessary, and I'll have them marked somehow. So you'll know if this is an actual player versus a made-up system player. All right, let's keep going. Draft class strength. This is interesting. Draft class. The average incoming talent level is lower across the class. Uses the normal class talent distribution. I don't know how they're doing this. Okay, so drafting, building drafts, I can see this being a thing. Um, what I would say, if I was doing draft, I base it on the difficulty of the game. Um, if you're playing like at a pro level, you're gonna get only so many really good players. If you're playing at a rookie level, you get higher, stronger possibilities for drafting. Uh, and I don't know how they're building. It'll be interesting to see how this game plays out with other um, throughout a season or multiple seasons. If I play that far, if a game is good enough, I'll play more than one season. If a game is boring, I will not. But I don't know. Certainly not. Probably not during this review. Coaching, firing pressure. Interesting. Firing pressure. See, this is one of those things. I'm gonna have rules on how you can fire a player, but it's coach. I don't care when you fire them as long as you fit within the rules. Like you can't. I'm gonna limit. You can't like fire a coach because some coaches come with abilities and things that tweak a game. I don't want people swapping coaches out simply because hey, this is the time when I need this coach. You can fire like once. You can fire and replace a coach like once a season. Um, you can get certain abilities onto your team like once a season. So you can't manipulate the coaching system. But there's no reason why you can't get rid of a coach every year if you really want to, I suppose. But I may start building in. I may even think about building in a coach repercussion system or something. Like they may not want to play for you if you're firing coaches all the time. If you fire coaches every year, maybe they'll have a you have kind of a history of firing, and they don't want to. They're more expensive, difficult to get on your team. It's kind of the what I call bad bosses kind of scenario, right? I'm going with standard on most of this. Development variance, predictable. Progression is steadier with fewer major leaps and collapses. See, this is weird. I get it. I mean, I understand giving the players options like this, but I feel like when you can control too many things, too many variables, you're kind of killing the experience a little bit. For me, it's like that's why I go with standard. Standard is standard. But I guess if you're afraid of something not happening, and I think people will notice this kind of stuff, and maybe the problem is they'll go, you know what, my guys just don't develop at all. Maybe I need to go fix get a more steady knowledge, or. But I want it to be based on I'm developing the fantasy football so that players progress based on what they actually do and accomplish. And I don't mean by coming up with some algorithm that randomly gives them boosts. I mean coming up with ways to make the players actually do stuff. And that doing stuff gives them experience, thus gives them boosts. And some players will maybe get more experience towards boosts than others. But you can actually if you make a player who's not a runner run, he's going to get better running. He may not become Superman because maybe that's just not his thing, but he he will improve in time. Maybe just slower than others. Now, things like film room, I've got ideas, but truthfully, it's difficult to wow, I've got ideas going through my head. Hmm. 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 Okay, I'm thinking about how film room could work in actually doing something to earn your ratings, and I'm getting ideas. I go over that later. I was just thinking. Okay, I gotta say, I was thinking about things like how would an offensive lineman or defensive or any player review film that isn't just an algorithm that says, okay, you have signed this guy 4 hours of film review. He earned this experience, which is what I was gonna do, which is how I think you would normally do it, right? You'd say, okay, this guy's doing this. He's doing film review. He's got this bonus and that bonus for film review. And then there's whatever randomness you're sticking in there to, not make it a for sure thing. And they get some kind of a boost, hopefully. But what if, because my game allows for tracking all of the stats of a league, what if players actually reviewing film meant having the app go through and check the stats of various players of their same position, and based on what those players accomplished, have an effect on, like, maybe they have say for example, um, an offensive tackle goes watches film, and then you randomly grab X offensive tackles over the last couple of weeks, and you check their stats and you give them like a boost based on how those offensive tackles performed, something like that. And like a better, maybe smarter players would pick better games to review, thus potentially giving them more. In other words, it wouldn't be as random a film. Or if you have a good coach, it helps them to pick the better games to review. Mm. Mm. And then you're attaching it to actual stuff rather than just being random. I like it. Film review could be an actual thing. And then I could do things like have comments after reviewing game film for blah 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 teams. If the player thinks he's picked up this thing and that thing, gaining blah blah blah. Huh. Hmm. Anyway, as I get distracted by thoughts from my own game. Anyway, so roster rating visibility. What is this? Roster player ratings are shown as exact numbers. Ranges. Roster player ratings are shown in 5-point bands. Roster ratings stay hidden, so evaluation relies on role and production. Huh. Huh. That's interesting. What do I think of that roster rate? That's new. That is something I haven't seen in any game before. That's very interesting. I think but I think players are given true ratings, right? I mean, in the NFL, a guy's rated as he's rated. He's not like rated, well, this guy is considered, he's a 70% guy. He's an 80% guy. Hiding it again. Okay, so ratings in the NFL, of course, are not law, right? But either is an overall rating for a player in most games, because an overall rating is just a rating based on all their other ratings, right? They're rated all these different skills. So it's still kind of an unknown. Just because your guy has an 80% rating, he might be great with hands and terrible at breaking tackle, you know, where he might be good at breaking tackle. Like he's a brute tight end, but maybe his hands aren't that great. So there's a little bit of, or maybe he's balanced across the board. He's still, they all get, there's 3 or 4 ways to get to 80%. What is it you want? Do you want a tight end that can block, or do you want one that can catch? Do you want one that can do a little bit of both? I mean, I guess it depends on what you think your ratings are. You know, maybe a guy's only a 78, but he can block at a 90% rate, right? So you'd rather have him be a better blocker, and well, he's only a 78 because his hands are made of stone. he's got stone mitts for hands. Ball just goes flying. But he can block like the Dickens, you know, and maybe that's great because now nobody's ever going to come in and sack your quarterback. So anyway, I think this is interesting. I don't know what I think about this. This feels like something I'd want to play with to see if it's adjustable. I don't know. League evolution, historical. What does this mean? League structure follows the selected era timeline where supported. League membership and structure remain fixed after setup. Performance and league growth can reshape the landscape over time. I don't know what any of this means. League performance and league growth can reshape the landscape over time. Huh. This is a weird one. I don't know what that is. What do I think? Selected era timeline were supported. Yeah, I'll go with that. Let's start the franchise. So they have some interesting startup settings. I think it's kind of cool. We'll see. I don't have any negativeness about your setup, guys. I think it looks good. I don't know how many people even developed this thing. There's things I probably I am doing different in my game, but I don't know that it's necessarily better or worse. Yours might just be better in that sense. I don't know. Like I said, my game doesn't have as many settings yet. I mean, maybe it will by the time I release it, but right now I don't foresee it. I guess if I give it to beta testers and they're all like, why can't I do this? It's driving me crazy. Show relevant cards on the screen's first visit. I don't want a tour. Let's do this. I hate tours. It takes too long to do stuff. Browse the handbook. Browse the handbook. Choose a topic now and replay it when you want. Skip for now. Help remains available in the top bar. Huh. Let's do that one. All right. Here we go. This is the start of things. Build a contender inside hard. Is that one of the help screens? Run the front office. So that's a card. Let's review the pages. And I am going to say right now, I'm viewing this again. You see me stop, and my brain goes looking like I've suddenly been hit in the face with headlights. It's me thinking about how my game does stuff, and why are they doing it this way, and do I like it? Let's start by saying, first page layout. I think it's good. There's a lot of things to consider as a game developer, right? What does this do? I kind of like the little highlighting they have there, the little orange highlights. I don't know if I've seen that or not. They got some kind of lighting going on here, which implies to me this is using a game engine of some sort. Either that, or they just got an image that has a. But this looks like. I mean, I guess I can't tell. It kind of looks like an image, but I can't tell if they're using a game engine or not. If you guys want to leave me reference back, let me know. I think it might be, or it's either got it's just using an image that looks like it's highlighted. I mean, you can make these kind of images that just look like lights coming in from one side. But I like it. I think it adds a little bit of flair to the game, and it's better than just straight color. So anyway, this is the help box for the first page. Pro mode combines coaching with roster economics. You are balancing wins now. Player development, contract timing, draft capital, and the owner's patience. Home is the executive briefing. Next game, next state, mail cap content, franchise direction. Every acquisition has an opportunity cost in cap room, roster space, picks, or future flexibility. Owner expectations and job security. Judge the result relative to the franchise phase, not only raw talent. Identify the next opponent. Current franchise direction. Oh, they're actually giving you stuff to do. That's interesting. Oh, there's more. There's two of them. Okay, run the front. Separate football personnel and league work. The operation rail holds the weekly team in front office, team development, finances. Okay, I understand. Okay. I don't want to do anymore. Let's do more. Continue day resolves the market as well as the schedule. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's close that. See, I get impatient with help. It's not your fault, developers. I don't know. I should read help, honestly. I'm one of those people kind of like, how do I do this? It's like, well, if you would have read the help. I will say this though. Good job. I mean, I think I think it looks good. I think it's clean. It's I think the help looks clean. It's kind of out of the way. It's easily closed. It's not in your face. Hopefully to some extent that's how it is even on the tour. But I do think it's a good job. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what do we got on this page. Is it, first of all, can I click anything here? Oh, okay. Pro cap space by club. Where did this take me? Is this like a menu place I can be? Where's the back? There's no back? Or do I click back to continue day? How do I go back to where I was? Home? All right, home. Okay, so home. So these are snapshots of the different things. Division focus shifts to Los Angeles Breakers. Road game on Sunday, September 13th. This one carries direct division tiebreak value. Pro cap space club by club. All right. So is that how all of these are? Oh, roster and cap. So that's media. So clicking here it just takes you here. I don't know how that's related to anything. I feel like that's wrong. Pro cap space club by club. A live look at every club spending. But why would I click on news and it would give me the pro cap space? I can kind of get it down here. What does this one do? Oh, this doesn't do anything. But this is roster and cap stuff. So it's going to take you to the cap space thing when you click on news. It's kind of weird. That's kind of a knock. I'm sorry. That feels weird. Let's click on media. See, clicking on media doesn't even. Why is this media? Okay. League cap table. Available space includes current contract commitments and recorded dead cap charges. A live look at every club spending room for 2026. So a lot of teams have a lot of space. Well, Dallas only has 11. 153. All right, so when my leagues generate, the lowest I have seen, that's low. That's really low. That'd be like one of my teams getting drafted at. So at a $276 million cap space, that puts them at what 120 123? $123 million on their cap? Wow. They got more than half of their cap space. That's a lot of cap space. Crazy. Can you click on any of this? No. It doesn't go anywhere. So you can't go click on Cleveland and look at their team. So a little bit about my coach. Hall of Fame, I don't have anything, obviously. Staff. So this looks a lot like the college dynasty. College football dynasty. Balanced rooms, leadership traits up top, and loyal staff raise chemistry and squeeze a little more out of the roster. Leadership, Connor Windham. What happens if I click on this stuff? Oh, I'm sure that'll do something, but what does this do? I think they need to do something with the mouse. They need to add some kind of highlights for the things that actually do stuff. Like, I don't know what I'm clicking on here. I mean, I guess, but look, this looks like a disabled button. But yeah, you click on it, it takes you to the profile, which makes sense because it says profile. But there's no like feedback. They don't look necessarily like buttons. I mean, these kind of look like buttons, but at least here they don't. Well, I guess in this case, the mouse does turn away from being an arrow. But it's an arrow here, and that doesn't do anything. So being an arrow doesn't protect you any. How committed this coach is to your program. I do like that they put these little descriptors, tool tips. Ascending reputation, coveted around the league. Scheme guru, sharp, well designed, weekly. Good job, guys. This is very complete. I'm putting in a bunch of tooltips in mine too, but you know, with new games, especially by small companies, a lot of times they skip out on a lot of the who is it? Actually, I think it's the newest one, the Gridiron Masters, that has a bunch of information buttons that don't do anything. You can't click them. They don't show you anything. They don't do squat. It's either that one or a college football dynasty. One of them have these information buttons all over the place, and half of them don't do anything. It's like, okay, what is that? I am interested to know how you handle, like, how is this just a random number? Curious how that's done. Again, that's just from a developer's point of view. It means nothing to the game. Don't worry about it. I'm just saying, I'm curious. I'm trying to decide how to. I've got some ideas on how I want to implement it so that we don't have to do things like worry about front office income. Because then you have to do things like figuring out, you want to do marketing, or you're just going to do fans, or you're going to do blah, blah. There's got to be something, because staff isn't part of the salary cap. So there's no limit technically on how much you can spend. So there's got to be a cap like you did. You gave 15.2 million. But what drives that? How is that connected? You just get 15.2 million and that's what you get every year, or every year you raise it a little bit? I don't know. All right. What do we got here? So anyway, this is your entire staff. I think this is cool. I plan to put in more for anybody who's curious about fantasy football, how it's doing it. Right now, I have a head coach, OC, and a DC. That's it. I do have plans to put in medical staff and training staff. Like, what do they got here? These are all just assistants. I am thinking about getting position players or position coaches into my game. That is something I want to do. But again, that's a little trickier when you start trying to decide that my stuff comes from real players. So I'd have to go figure out, how do I get real coaches in with that? But after 400 years of play, I'm going to have to think maybe I just create coaches out of thin air. It's cool to have real stats, real players, but I'm starting to think I may be limited in what I can actually do there if I want this game to allow for franchise mode that goes beyond reality. Ownership wants this roster in the playoff picture with real January upside. Okay, so I'm supposed to be a contender basically out the start. No pressure there. Few coaches. Oh, this breaks down the coaches. College. Cross league candidates can be hired, but elite coaches expect a strong role and offer. Interesting. Huh. They do say that apparently the college and the pro kind of overlap. So I guess if you had a college league or something. So yeah, this is cool. I kind of like it. I mean, I don't know what to do with it right now. I guess if I had guys that weren't doing anything, you got approval ratings. Here's what I don't know if you do this, but in order for this to truly be average unit grade, what can you click on? I guess I'll know more later. I don't know what they did, but if I were to implement players like this or coaches like this, I know you have approval ratings, and I guess it would depend on how is your team doing, right? But are you keeping track of stats and somehow implementing that into the approval rating? Like, is the defensive line succeeding at their blocks? Are they sacking a lot? Are they getting a lot of pressures in? Are specific players getting that? I mean, how are you? I mean, I would hope that the things that these guys are having an effect. That are actually their approval rating is affected by actual results. And if that's the case, that's awesome, guys. Awesome. Like I said, I'm looking at this right now, and just at what I've seen thus far, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I think it's the best of what I've seen so far, of what it seems to make available. And again, I haven't seen the stuff at work yet. We'll see as I get further on. All right, so team. These are all the players. Now, I got to admit, I'm one of those people who have a hard time really getting going on what my guys can do until I start seeing what they can do. I don't know how things like, all right, so let's see how your depth chart works. I want to see, what if I wanted to, can I drag and drop? How do I do this? Oh, okay, so they have arrows to move people up. You can't move into other positions, it looks like. All right, so players don't move. They can't change positions, which is not necessarily bad, but I know it's one of those things that people like, and I actually have kind of started to build into my game, though I'm not totally sure on it yet. It's there, it exists. I'm just not totally sure how I'm going to make that function right. I may or may not have to disable it for a little while. But cross position, like if you wanted to put a corner in a receiver, if he's just that good, right? Maybe you want a guy to play both sides of the ball. I don't know. So this is interesting. What jumps off? So they give you 4 highlighted positions, which I guess makes sense because you could theoretically have all of the skills. My game, every player has every skill in the game. They're just baselined on a lot of them because that's not their thing. All attributes: run, block, 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 and block. So, boy, he's got a lot of blocks, man. They got lead blocking, impact blocking, pass blocking. Huh. Pass block finesse. Pass block power. Wow. That is some serious granular stuff you guys got there. Crazy. I assume those numbers are being used somehow. I have to guess. They must be, right? I mean, that's how the whole purpose of the game is. I'm always curious how people are writing their algorithms to make this many different fine pieces. I have different blocking, but this is left. This is way granular. 8 different levels, 8 different blocking markers. I have two. I'm starting to think, wait a minute, am I missing something? I have run block and I have pass block. And yeah, that's what you are. You're either good at that or you're not. I do have other things like speed and speed and awareness and discipline and those kind of things. But as far as just blocking goes, I don't have all that. This is where things kind of get. This is something I'd expect to see out of front office football. Front office football goes way into the weeds, and I would almost count this as getting close to the weeds. Now I don't know what all else is there, but the grass is looking high. I don't know. I see. Here's the idea for my game. Here's one of the rules I'm trying to develop as I develop it. The thing, keep in mind, I want my game to be enjoyable, playable by adults, but also by that 13, 14-year-old who just loves football. And I have to ask myself when I'm looking at my game, does this look like something fun for a 13, 14-year-old to play? Would a 13, 14-year-old want to load your game and say, cool, man, this is football. I got to get in there and control the game and watch the game and see what's happening? Honestly, looking at this is adults only. I mean, it's people who don't need the visual stimulation and who probably don't mind, in fact maybe even prefer a lot of stuff to really manage. Um, so I would imagine certain types of training would affect like your finesse blocking skills. You know, you can kind of increase at different levels of these. All right, so I've looked at the team. Clicking on this doesn't take you back to the team. So how do I go back to the team? How do I, is there, there's no back button. I think you need a back button, guys. Track. What is track? Track this player. Edit. Name captain. Huh. What does this do? Oh, nothing. Oh, does it do something on the... It adds captain. Oh. Does it do anything? Does it have an effect on your player? Removed. Huh. Doesn't seem to have an effect. I would think that if you're gonna control who's the team captain, should do something. Like maybe gives them a little bit more morale boost or motivation or something. Something that just I feel like it should mean something. I mean, yeah, in real reality it might maybe not. But I think anytime you give a player that pat on the back saying, "Hey, you're the leader here," maybe other players would be affected by him in some way. I don't know. He does well, his people do well, you know, kind of thing like that. That's what team captains are. They lead by example, right? Coaching, Hall of Fame. All right, so let's go back to team. I guess the only way to get to team is to... It's kind of funny that when I click on him, none of this stuff is highlighted, but there's no way... Exit to main menu. There's really no way to get back to team. I cannot click back to team short of like going to media, which takes you to pro cap space, which is a really weird thing to be on. Then I can go back to team. All right. Depth chart, roster management. So there's a lot of good. I am, like I said, I am gonna say, a lot of the stuff I won't know what I can do until I start getting into the game further. But there's a lot, and I'm impressed by the sheer amount of things. Again, it might be a bit much in my opinion, but what my opinion is not, it's not the overall. So don't take that as much. Because I think there are things you have to have, right? There are certain pieces of information that you just need to have. Training plan by player. Oh, interesting. Isaiah Fry, Tim Kiles. Huh. Training plan by player. These are only prospects. Oh, development. Position plans, workload, redshirt paths. Redshirt. Why is redshirt even mentioned in a college game? I don't, or in a professional game. See, that's like there's a lot of overlap. I think there's too much college overlap. I guess that's one of the problems with having a game that supports everything. It doesn't necessarily separate them fully. But so where's is development? But development here is all prospects. Wait, year 4, year 5. Wait a minute. I don't understand why it's why do they mean prospects? Prospects? Huh. So training load. So you could basically go through each and every player. Is that every player on your team? And give them all training loads. Holy cow. That is a lot. Why is redshirt an option on a professional league? That don't make any sense. That don't make any sense at all. Why is redshirt? They need to split up their pro and college. Priority queue. Now again, this game is brand new out. I would imagine there will be updates and cleanups later, so I'm not too worried about that. It's going to come down to how it actually performs. I'm not doing a lot, as you can see. I'm just seeing what options are available. I feel like they need to have a team-based development. Like maybe you have your linemen and your quarterbacks and stuff. And maybe if you really wanted to go as deep as the single player thing, I get it. You know, like maybe one guy you're trying to really build up and you want to give him some special attention. But this is a lot to expect people to do. It's like, and they're only going to work on their best guys or maybe their middle guys, possibly. I mean, at least they all have one, but that is a lot of stuff. What if you want? Why wouldn't? You can't give them first team reps, everybody. But position skill, I get it, but I feel like I like this. Honestly, I do. But you need to have team level stuff. Sometimes you don't give every player special attention. um, and maybe that's why you're just doing this and you're saying they're all going to do their own thing. And then you can go tweak that player, I suppose. But is that realistic? I mean, do coaches just give every player their own special thing? I don't know. Maybe you could give every player their own special gym thing. Like this is what you need to work on in the gym or work on in the on your own time kind of rules, and then you train with the team as part of the team. That's how. Then you have your coaches decide what they're going to do. Okay, so again, that's just suggestions. It doesn't. It's not how I'm going to rate this. Okay, so if I rate this, let's just say I was rating on a scale of 1 to 10, which I probably will. Those things are not what's going to change my idea. I don't necessarily say what that is bad versus what I would do or what I want to do. It may affect what I think is Raj's rating in terms of complexity, because I feel like that's pretty complex. I think it's kind of cool, but I'm an adult and I have a different bar of range of what I would be willing to do and what I think I would want a game to do. which again is my game versus someone else's. So that's the whole different thing. But I will rate how I think that complexity is. Darius, what is this one? College scouting. Oh, wow. At least there's some college stuff here. That makes sense. What is assign? Assign what? What am I assigning? Am I assigning? Who am I assigning? Am I assigning assign players eligible? Assign reports. So you're assigning to your scout? Who? What am I assigning? All right, let's go. What do I even know? Absolutely nothing. There's no information on these guys. Just assign. There's no information on these guys. Why would there be? Maybe later there will be. All right, let's go to game plan. All right, what do I think of game plan? Now, this is important because my game has a game plan too. So how are they doing their game plan? They have a lot of stuff. They have the dashboard, the breakers, key players to watch, strengths, injuries. That's kind of good, I suppose, yeah. This to me seems like a roster thing, though. I mean, I guess your game plan can be... How come I have 3 injured players? The season hasn't even started yet. Can I click on this? It doesn't tell me who they are. It just says I have 3 players out. Okay, so I have 3 random players out for some reason. I have no way. I'm sure there's a thing that says injuries somewhere. Do I have to go to team? Is there... What do I go health? All right, there we go. Center field. Center field? Center field safety. What the heck is a center field safety? I know what a safety is, but I don't know center field safety. Receiving tight end. Run support linebacker. Center field safety. Huh. Year 2, rookie, year 2. Oh, he's a free safety. Interesting. Okay, back to game plan. Okay, so I know it's not too hard, but I think I would like, if it was me, if you're going to make a quick tweak, you have injuries listed, give a link to your injuries. Take you back to injuries or health page, whatever. I get it. You have a spot. It's pretty easy to find it. I know, but I don't know. I feel like anytime you give someone a little bit of information about something you have a lot of information for, give them a way to get to the lot of information. You know, there's no reason why. Like this, I get this is strengths. Okay, maybe you don't need a link to that stuff, but injuries are like, wait a minute, who are my injuries? Did I miss this? I got to go look at this. You know, if you're going to give them that, call it out, give them a way to go deal with it. Maybe I've already dealt with it, maybe I haven't, but at least they know. Key players to watch. Does this actually take you to those players? So no, just has ratings on. Again, you don't have to do links. I like links. I don't know. I like it when I can click anywhere and it makes sense and it takes me somewhere. Offense. The coordinator manages. Oh, you can't even adjust this stuff. Interesting. Because you did not choose offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, you don't get to do this stuff. Analytics. Yards per play. Huh. Practice. Okay, practice. I like this. Practice focus. Tackling, pass protection, scout team assignments. This game has a lot. I'm already telling you, the complexity. I think it's great to the right people. And I think some people are going to love this game. Just because you have a lot of stuff and you allow a lot of changes. So don't get me wrong. I think you've got potential here. Make sure you get it out. I did, by the way, post for you your game on the Reddit GM Games discussion. I just said your game is out. I didn't see it on there. I looked it up. Maybe you did do it under a different name or something. I didn't see it. But I did post on your behalf and say, hey, check this game out. It's a new GM game. A lot of people are looking at GM games. It might be, hopefully that'll give you a couple of new people to check it out. But so far, I think it's got some good stuff. I can see playing with this a little bit. Third down strategy, I like aggressive. I'm going to go with that. Fourth down strategy, 4th-and-1 opportunity. End of half. Timeouts. Why wouldn't you use them? Why would you never use? Why is this even a thing? I would say, like my game, I have it tell you when you might start using timeouts. It's like, again, I also have score on my game. Like, when would you hurry up? Well, when you're either behind, hurry up, control, play for our field goal or something. This is good strategy, but it could depend on the score, right? Your situations are limited. You give them fixed situations, which again, not necessarily bad. That simplifies. You're simpler in that sense, which is good. Simple's good. Don't get me wrong. That's definitely a good thing. And some people will definitely prefer this over what I'm doing, which might be too much. Every game focuses on something and probably puts too much of something and too little of another. So I'm just calling it out for what it is. This is a more straightforward thing. Special teams. I also have a special teams one on mine. So, by the way, on a dynamic kick, modern field goals, or modern kickoff, which is anything since 2024, I think, you would not be doing kickoffs, a squib kick. That'll probably rarely ever happen because you have to land inside the 20. So you can't, unless you're really accurate and you can land right inside the 20 really low, it'd be hard to do a squib kick in modern kickoffs. This is kind of a weird piece because there's so many things that are involved in deciding how this works. Like, why would you do onside kick? There's no score attached to this. I don't want an onside kick every time I kick. So deep is the norm, but it's like there should be some kind of a adjustment that says do onside kicks in this situation. That's kind of a weird thing. Punt strategy, rugby, pooch, and it's like pooch punts. That's a John Elway thing, a field goal or a quarterback thing, right? You don't see pooch punts very often. A short punt, I get, it's pooch, but it's the idea behind a pooch punt is that the other team doesn't know you're punting. I think that's the whole point. I have a rugby. What the heck is a rugby punt? Is that when the balls drop sideways on your foot? Is that just make the ball weird when it flies? I don't know. Why would you do that? See, these aren't conditional enough. Never, rare, some. It should be like conditional based on score or something. Field goal. You have your max field goal. What if your kicker is only good at 45 yards? It's not adjusted to your kicker at all. I guess it could be. You have to go look at what your kicker strength is, and then you adjust the field goal range. I guess that makes sense. That works. But it should say something like, maybe this would be a good place to display your kickers. You know, your field goal kickers. What's their stats? So you know, oh, this guy's probably not good at 60-yard field goals. Now, is this a 52-yard field goal, or is this where the ball is 52 yards from the end zone, which would make this a 67-yard field goal, by the way? 69-yard field goal, sorry. So I don't know how your game is it a 52-yard kick and he just does a 52-yard kick. I did notice that on your field you got players moving and your goalposts appear to be lined with the goal line, which is not professional. I don't even think college does that anymore, do they? The field goal posts are in the back of the end zone. So it's kind of weird. Let's move on. All right, let's go on to this. Wait, did I look at everything that game plan had? Situation, special teams, packages. Defensive package. Heavy front, dime, nickel. Pass rush. I like pass rush. 6 DBs. I'm going to go with dime. I'm turning that off. So these are the packages you actually have available on your team. Interesting. Third down. So you're not actually allowing for formational strengths like 3-4. I mean, it kind of does because it's 5 dBs, 6 dBs, but where's like 4 dBs, which is 3-4 or 4-3, 3 dBs, which is not really that. I mean, dBs being Thando and Tombs. How's it going, man? Ooh, 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 oh, 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 oh. Thando and Tombs. I don't know. Oh, to you too, my friend. Oh, to you too. So, anyhow, let's see what else we got here. In-game rules, trailing by 14, open up the passing. Okay, so you have a little bit of conditionals. I like that. Adjustments. It doesn't really talk too much about what you what you're doing though. You're gonna do a little bit more. I get the bleeding the clock. Okay, that works. Um, this game it gives you the situations and you got to assign to them versus you get to create your own situations or define your own situations. But um, again, it's very good in that it's given you a lot of options, and I like that. I don't know if I feel like it's a bit much though. Still, I as far as complexity goes, but again, it depends on your audience. If your audience is heavy duty football GM kind of folk, and maybe that's what being an OC or DC does, it simplifies it. I don't know. What is this? The schedule. All right. Well, that doesn't do. I mean, there's not going to be a lot here that matters. This is informational. Standings don't have much there. Obviously, I haven't started a game yet. Trades. This will be interesting to look at. I'm curious how you guys do trades. It does look like it's got your roster, their roster. Who is there? Okay, so you pick the team you want to trade with and what you're willing to send. I do like you let draft picks. That's one of the things I'm planning to put into my game. I'm always curious about how all the different games are laying this out because drafts and trades are complex. And it's not just complex, it's real estate complex as far as your game, right? So you got to display the players, what they can do, or what their key information is. And so if I go look at Isaiah Scomes, it gives you the card. And I'm going to say this about your card and everybody else's. You guys make me nervous. my game my game is literally a card. It's a game card, like a collectible player card, and you can flip it over to get more stats on the back. But it's you guys give so much information. You guys, and when I say you guys, it's not you specifically. It's pretty much every football management sim. Again, my game tries to go a simpler route and give the base information. I do have age and height, but well, maybe I do have weight also. No, I have 3 values, so it must be age, height, and weight on mine. Jersey number will be on, but it's not like a value that's in the middle of your stuff. It'll just say number, whatever. It'll be like up in the. It's like part of the header of the page. Morale, health. I'm not tracking college. I know almost every one of these games do that, but my game doesn't have college. I might add that later, but again, I don't want to look up everybody's college. And since I'm using real players, I'd have to find a way to capture what college they all came from. And it's not that it's necessarily hard. I got all their stats, right? I could probably find their college. And I guess if maybe that matters to a player, it might be a thing I add later. But to me, I'm trying right now to only include the stats that mean something to the game, and what college they went to is not one of them. you know, I do use, by the way, their draft pick number, their overall number, not the round and pick, but their overall number, like were they 400th in the draft or whatever. has an effect on their potential. That's kind of how potential, one of the key factors in how I do potential. Um, Everybody's different. That's just what I'm doing. I'm trying to make all of the skills and stats in my game have a variation, have dependency on real life stats, which is going to make it really weird when I have to start making up players. So we'll see how that goes. Um, that said, we have route work. So these guys, I mean, mine is going to have routes. But see, this is another one. You guys really go a long way on this. And again, I say you guys. Sorry, I'm not trying to be sexist or whatever. I don't know how many people are involved in this game. Um, Route running, short routes, medium routes, deep routes, a lot of breakdown in your route work. I have a plan for route running, but I also see that hold on, before I say what I'm gonna say, make sure I'm right. Okay, uh, stats. Oh, that's stats. Like how are they performing? Okay. Okay, so you don't have. So I think in lieu of things like speed and um, agility and strength, it seems like your game really didn't take those things as factors. It actually just built them in a way that says these type of routes. So maybe it isn't so much more complex than I thought. I mean, I was thinking because you have all these different versions of blocking and all these different versions of route running that you're getting overly deep, but I also noticed that most games have things like speed and agility and strength, and they add those into their route running, their pass catching, whatever. So I can kind of see that yours is just translating them different. So maybe it isn't extra clutter. You do, as far as stats go, though, you have a lot. This is a lot of stats, which again is good, and I assume it has something to. It's all baked into the game, so I'm not going to knock it. And but other than the fact that it's kind of complicated for a younger crowd. So right now, I'm getting ready to go run a game. Just because the first season, whatever, I want to go see. I want to see what the next phase of game is. It's interesting though that on all of these, you show the desk, the staff, Hall of Fame coach. This shows up pretty much on every single page. In fact, there is no page that it doesn't show up. It's like it's just standard stuff. I'm not sure why coach profile has to be standard stuff. Media. I mean, I would think the dashboard would be a standard stuff. That's to me, that's like something you'd want. But I guess you go to home. But if I was going to have a standard stuff thing, I would expect it to be the stuff that is, the summary, the checklist, the stuff that you have to do. And your homepage does all that. It's got all the dashboard and all the things you're trying to do for the week, your mail, all the things you want to contend with. I feel like that would be what you want up here if you're going to have two lists. By the way, again, and this is me. I am developing my own game, right? I have a football manager that's almost 2 years in development, and it looks completely different from this. But I also want to give people the feedback of knowing that I am looking and reviewing these games honestly, what I feel about them and what I think is good and bad about them, but also in comparison to what my game's going to do and or is doing for those things that are finished. Um, and people can decide what they want to do, whether they want to look into my game or not. Maybe they're going, oh, I don't want that. I don't want nothing to do with the real Sims or gamified game. I don't know. But if I had to say one thing about the visuals of this game is it looks a lot like all the other management games. I'm sorry, that is a definite knock. There's some slight changes, slight variations. You lay things out, but I mean, ultimately the coloring looks similar. It's all like, what is that, bluish, grayish coloring on with white background with the thin borders, and it looks like all the other ones. I even opened up a little while ago College Football Dynasty, and it looks the same. You know, you have different menus, different things, but I'm just saying the coloring is very specific. Now, I don't know if this highlight here, I said it was lighting basically, but it might just be a highlight that's actually implemented based on the color of your team, which I think is, again, cool. I did something similar with my cards. I have the team colors on the card borders, but that's not, again, it's not a knock against the game here. This is not what I'm talking about. To me, the things that would knock a game, and so far I haven't been able to build a real opinion of some of that. So right now I'm just doing a first look review, and we'll see how we get there. What I am seeing about this is you have a lot you can do. To me, that is already a huge boon over a Gridiron Masters, which came out a few months ago. I don't feel like there's a lot you can actually do in that game. It shows a lot of stuff, I think, but it's like, what is my part in this? College Football Dynasty, or whatever it is. This one is Football Coach College Dynasty. Doesn't give you a lot to do either. So that's all, you know, that's a big deal to me. Okay, so this doesn't matter. Award doesn't matter. Scouting. One scout can cover up to 15 players. Smaller lists return sooner with cleaner reports. Oh. So what, are you just randomly scouting players? What do you know about? Oh, okay. National cross checker, area scout, college scout. So basically you get 3 guys who can scout 15 players. So are you just scouting randos? It's like there's zero information on these players. Not even like this guy has won, you know, he was high school player of the year, or you know, he's the leader in national in touchdowns thrown or something. I mean, you would think there'd have to be something, some information on these guys. I don't want to go scout, you know, the 4th string high school dropout that just barely made the team. I want to take a look at the guys that are doing well on their teams. I don't mind going to little colleges and stuff, but freak, man. Okay, I guess that's what this 82% confidence is. Nate Foster. Okay, so one guy can be assigned. Who is this guy? Is he on the list? I don't. One scout can cover up to 15 players. Oh, Nate Foster's the guy. Oh, okay. Assigned scout. Assigned scout to who? These guys? Are these the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? That's 10. Player limit 10. So he's got 82%. Okay, so it's just picking some random guys that I got an 82% confidence on. You don't get any choice as to who you're doing other than to change how many players. All right, we'll sign him. What the heck? So now we have Wes, who's going to take his own 10 guys. What does he do? He is the area scout, national cross checker. Huh. Area scout. Sure, why not? College scout. He's going to just do one. Ready for a new regional scouting package. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I guess we'll just do that. They're all different players, but I don't know. At least I got him to go scout something. I can see what that is later. So it's just random. It gives you 10 guys. You got to decide what you want to do with them, I guess. All right, so we got free agency, calendar. What am I doing? Sim to custom date. Continue. I guess that's it. Stats. I'm not going to have any of that tracked. All right, let's go to continue date. I assume that's gonna. Oh, that's Sunday. So are we ready to play a game? What now? When do we have our first game? Sunday, September 13th. What are we at? August 2nd. Do we have a preseason game at least? do I get a preseason game, or am I literally stepping through the next month's worth of stuff? September. So there's no preseason? What am I what the heck? Monthly roster recap room. Mail messages. What is this? Welcome to the Denver Peaks. Football operations completed the opening roster review. The personal department has set the opening roster and depth projection. Set the standard. I will expect clear roster, the cap, in the next game. Team president. Okay. Monthly roster review, 52 active, 16 practice squad. Cap room update, 34 million available. The cap sheet is stable. The cap office will move this back to the monthly rhythm unless something changes. College scouting update. College scouting reports are still being assembled. Draft grades, priority. All right. I have one unread. Denver Peaks. Welcome to the Denver Peaks. Scouting. All right. It says red. All right. News. I don't know why this one won't mark as red. There you go. No news, morale, injury. Is everybody healed? Those 3 players must be healed. Okay. Admin. And staff. Okay, so not much to do there. So do I just got to keep clicking forward then? What am I doing here, man? Continue the next day. Did I spend that much time on? I have to wait a whole month before I get to do anything. There's no preseason game. What's the schedule here? September 13th is my first game. There is literally nothing to do unless let's go to the calendar. There's no games. Joint practice window. Right. I don't know what joint practice window. Camp intensity ramps up around preseason camp. Okay. I don't know. There's like nothing going on any of these days. So basically I'm a month ahead of schedule. All right, sim to this day. I guess we're just gonna jump right through August. First game is what? Do I have a Monday night game? What? Final cut down. Sim says, oh, we're still in August. Is there stuff going on any of these days? Nope. Do I have to do something? What's trimming my? I don't see how we even. I guess if I had drafted players right now, I've got a full roster at 52. I think that's a full. I have 52 of 53. Oh, we have 68 players, but I don't think I think practice squad is allowed to exist. I think it's just if I picked up free agents or something. But there are no free agents right now. And who else would I pick up? I mean, short of doing a trade or something, there's not much I can do. So to start the thing, there's not a lot of starting stuff. Is this okay, so this is kind of an interesting. This is an interesting question for a game. I don't yet have a calendar in mind. I understand the purpose of a calendar. It gives you that real, oh, we're going through the year, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like there's things you want to do in the off season. You got to do the draft. You got to do some practice. You got to do certain things during the off season. But truthfully, do you really need to have the whole year accounted for? Can't you just say, you know, the draft is on the, we got to do the draft. We can mark the day. The draft is coming up. You can do these are the players. You give them a chance to review it. You review the players, you mark down who you're interested in drafting, and then you go do the draft. But why do we have to have dates for all that? You can put dates in for fun, but it doesn't have to have every day of the month. Let's skip through the month, skip through the month, skip through the month. Just go to the day. And then when you're doing practice, you say, all right, you got to figure there's so much practice during the season. How are you going to spend that practice? That's all you got to do. You know, and then when you get to the point where you have to start doing some actions, like maybe there's some drafting or trading or whatever, and you got to get cut down or whatever, you say, all right, well, this has happened during practice. These guys have improved. These things have happened. This is what we see. Then you go to cut downs and you actually have guys have done something. What happened in this period that I'm going to get to the cut down? All right, so I'm on cut down day. Is there information? Did these guys show improvement? What happened? How do I know if how do I know if these guys improved? Right? So if I go to, let's see if I, okay, so you can't sort on position. Let's look at my QBs, all right? So I have QB, oh wow, oh that's growth. Not very good growth. Dude, I have terrible QBs. Oh wait. Quentin Gravitt Robinson. He's actually the best player on the team. Is he, why is he not, all right, I gotta go look at the team here. Depth chart. I'll look at my QB. Do I not have a good QB? Oh, okay. So he is the starter. He, by the way, is 13 years in the season, though. I got to get me a quarterback because he's getting up there. And he's not necessarily great. He's an 85 overall. But how do I know if guys improve during training camp? See, this is the invisible stuff. I feel like when you go through training camp, it's rather than having a calendar, it should say something like training, like maybe a training camp recap or spring training or you know preseason recap or something where you get information about how your players improve during that period of time, and then you can go make a decision as to whether or not those guys get to stay on the team. Cut down review, 52 active players. Click this, check the final depth chart. Okay, so this is showing the depth chart, but what happened? How do I know if any of these guys improved during practice? It does show you this. I can go QB and practice squad guy. Dude, I got some old quarterbacks. 34, 35, 35. These guys are all ready for retirement. That's not great. I'm supposed to be a contender this year. I mean, okay, to be fair, many teams are contenders when a quarterback's in their early 30s, but 34 or 35 is he better be a great quarterback now. I mean, because probably not going up. But look at this. I got 5-star running back and then 2 stars to back him up. I mean, these are like way. I mean, there's a huge drop off. I mean, I get it. Usually teams have a drop off, but got to be careful about having way big drop offs. Hey, this guy's the OG. Edge rusher. That's a guard. Huh. It's interesting. This doesn't show you their rating. It shows you their stars, but not their rating. Why wouldn't you show rating on the roster? I don't know. I feel like you would show that. Why wouldn't that be one of the numbers here? Height, age, status? What the heck is status? You guys can click on overall rating 81. Huh. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know that I have any effect on cut down day. 8 core expiring contracts. Well, I don't want to do too much right now. I mean, unless, what is this? Oh, okay. Cap actions, standard cut, franchise tag. But these contracts aren't going to be an issue. What do you mean expiring? They don't mean expiring like, it's just this year. So I have to deal with them before the year's over, but they're not expiring like now. Huh. Reese Crute. Oh, these are my UFAs. I forgot what UFA stands for. Okay, I get it that you know what UFA stands for, but not everybody remembers that. Something unrestricted free agent, I think that is. But not everybody knows. I barely remembered it. Yep. All right, let's continue. Let's just see what it does. What's it going to do to me as a result of 8 core expiring content? That's going to be there for a minute. What's going on? Nothing? Did it move forward and I just didn't see it? Probably. Or we probably should be like Wednesday if it is moving forward. Yeah, we're on Wednesday. Okay, so what's the first day that matters? Let's go look at a game. Sim to this day. Again, there should be practices going on. I feel like there should be stuff that gives you some feedback during this time. This should not just be a... If you're simming through stuff, it needs to tell you what happened during that period. Did my players just go home and take a nap? And now it's game day? Was there improvement? Did my players train? I don't know what happened. Now, is this simming a game and I missed it? I mean, it says simulating 2 Sunday. Shouldn't mean, okay. All right, let's play the game. All right, cool. Let's go play this game. My first game of the season. Adjust your, no, I already did my game plan. We're good. I assume it didn't change. It's not going to change on me, right? All right, so the matchup. So it's right now, I'm a little bit of information about the game while it's getting ready to show. Kickoff. All right, let's see what this game looks like. So we do have dots. There is a little football that appears to be moving sideways down the field. Ball caught. Guy running. He's stopped. Okay, so that's cool. Oh, do I have to pick? It's not simmed. I guess I could sim, but I want to see it. I want to let the coach pick. What do I do? Oh, sim 2 though is going to skip stuff. I don't want to skip stuff. I want to see it. Can I pick up the speed? What is this thing way off the field? Oh, here we go. Coach pick. Is there no timer, no clock, no nothing? Nothing's running. I can just sit here all day. I don't like that. That's not how games run. Have a timer. Have a timer on your kicks. Let's give the game some realism. What the heck does that say? Oh, did that say close? It's not. I don't know. It's the L was like rubbing into the L. It looks like a D or B. Can I change this? What is this? Oh, let's close that. All right, so I end of first quarter, second quarter, next possession. See, there needs to be a way. How do I change the speed or tell it to go ahead and? Well, coach pick. Let's go. I'm assuming I'm punting. Oh, I actually made a few yards, but got it going. It's flying and caught. Oh, it's got like a little line on the guy to show you what way he's facing. That's kind of interesting. It's got these lines on him. I don't like having to click this. Where is the allow the coach to coach button? I'm the GM. I shouldn't have to say, all right, coach, go ahead and call the play. Go ahead, coach, call the play. Go ahead, coach, call the play. It should be just do your job, coach. If I feel like you're messing up, I'll interfere. If you're gonna allow interference. By the way, this is you gotta turn your plays the other way, man. This is too squashed. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, you kind of see it, but it's too squashed. I know you're trying to make it look like you're running down a football field, but you don't have to show the whole football field on a play. Play only needs to see the 15, 20 yards that matter, in which case you can turn the player sideways. Let's see if my defense, I assume, oh, he's got good coverage. Uh-oh, get him. He ran, he scrambled, the nerve. All right, let's see how this looks when I shrink the field up. It does respond a little bit, that's nice. Is it fixed in width? Like what happens if I try to make it super small? Okay, you can't go smaller. All right, well, at least it pins it to the field width. Is there any limit to this? Okay, it will shrink the field. It does have a limit in size though, that's good. This is me reviewing the game on a developer note, not on a user note. I don't want to replay. All right, so now it's our ball. Nice hole, man. That guy really picked a hole. Big gain. Good job, Roddy Towns. All right. I don't like clicking every play, though. I'm going to complain about that. Can I say Sim 2 and it'll actually end the first quarter? Oh, see? I scored. It literally just skipped over and went to the next thing. It's like suddenly it's 7-0. So we are ahead. I guess that's good. So now we're second quarter. Yeah, it's just weird. I don't like that it just jumped to, showed new score, and bam. Are we going to get the first down? Nice. So I can't sit back and enjoy the game. I have to keep hitting coach. I'm a GM. I want to let my coach do the job. Now, what do I think of this? My game doesn't do it this way, but I'm not saying it's wrong. This is fine if you're going to be allowing people to play their own game and pick their own plays. I get it. But I feel like if you're going to allow people to pick their own plays, there needs to be a time limit on selecting a play. I mean, isn't that part of the strategy of a game? It shouldn't take you minutes to decide on a play. It should take you 20 seconds. Because remember, you only have the time it takes for your players to get to the line of scrimmage, or even from the huddle. You got to give your players a chance to get to the huddle, and that's a certain amount of your 40-second clock. Let's see what my coach decides. Do I have a field goal kicker that can kick this? Or are we going to punt? Oh, we're field goal. Okay. Nice. Down the line, field goal. Yeah, 10-0. Now, in theory, if these guys are anything like if these teams are built, I don't know how they built it. I don't know how they did a lot of logic. So I can't really say what's going on under the covers. I can just say that I like so far kind of how they're doing it. I like that there's actual viewable action on the field. Do I like that it's being done with circles? Well, I'll say this: I like it a lot better than what almost every single other front office football game. So I'm gonna give. Oh, I intercepted the ball. Nice job, team. No, I honestly I would say. Oh, is that a replay? What's going on? It is. That replay, that interception looked weird though. The ball was going here, and my guy was way over here, and I intercepted it. I get it that little bit off on the positions, but this is the best sim. They need to put in an autoplay though, not necessarily a sim 2, but like an autoplay where or allow, sim allow coach calls and just let it play out with the coach. Now I noticed that they're not doing a 40-second clock because why? I guess they don't want to mess with it. But this is the best simulation I have seen of all of the fantasy manager games I have seen so far. Of all the ones that do anything significant in way of management simulations, this is the best one. Um, and, and again, I'm not comparing it to Madden. Madden's always going to look good, but I don't think Madden. I don't know what Madden does in franchise mode. Honestly, I don't know what to what extent it does anything. But I don't know. From what I've heard, people don't like Madden. If Madden was great at doing a simulation, we'd see a lot more, a lot less negative Maddenness out there. I guess I'm kicking a field goal again. Hopefully, it looks like an easy field goal, right? Should be down the middle. Nice. It's not a huge lead. Let's go ahead and sim to the end of the half. Let's go to. Oops. It's really hard to. You ain't getting through there, buddy. It's too much. The hole's too small. Let's go ahead and sim to end of second quarter. Oh, we let them score. The pace needs to be faster. I get it. This is actually, don't get me wrong, this is running like a real football game. I think they're doing a pretty good job in that sense. They are running this clock kind of fast. It runs down to how far it runs down, and that's it. But I think people want to see the game run faster. Players need to move slightly faster than realistic. They can move according to their speed, like faster players move faster. Dude, that was a terrible pass right to my guy. That was like he ran up to the line and he just threw it to him. I mean, there was like nobody. Look, number 12 goes away. He runs up to the line and he throws to this guy. Who the? What happened? Did he get hit? Was there information? What was that, guy? I mean, are you a professional quarterback or did the guy's blue shirt stand out? I don't know. I don't get it. But I'm going to kick in another field goal. All right, so I will say this is as I mentioned before, to me this is the best simulation. Viewability, I like that there's actual people moving around in the field, even though they're only circles. They're smooth. They look like they move kind of like a player would move. I mean, as far as speed goes, I think it needs to be picked up a little bit, a little slow, or at least allow for a little bit faster speed adjustments. Like add, run it at a, 2 times pace or whatever. I mean, give it a way to either be adjusted or play it at a little bit faster speed, just so that you have that option. I am not a fan of the idea of simulating a game. By the way, my game will allow simulations to an extent for AI games. That is this is an AI game right here, right? There's no other players involved. But if you're in my game, you have multiplayer leagues, which means other users can be in your league. On those types of leagues, the games don't run on your device; they run on the network, and they run on a schedule, and they run at a speed, which means there's no simulating them to go faster. If you have a 1 o'clock game, it'll be over by 2 o'clock. My idea is to have it run around an hour's length of time. But you could theoretically come in and check out the game during that hour, and it'll show you how it's progressing. Uh, and you'll get notifications within that hour as to how the team is doing. That's the design goal and plan, and that's how I'm trying to build all the clock management, how everything runs, uh, all of which can be accelerated to run for AI purposes. I am really kind of dominating this. The score looks pretty good, but we are still in the third quarter. I haven't been able to get into score a touchdown yet. That looks like an interesting. Dude, did that guy just wait? Oh, that's a punt. Where is that ball going? Did I just throw a touchdown, or did he just throw a touchdown? What was that? That was quite the interesting looking little play. That one had motion. Good job. I haven't seen a lot of simulations show motion. Not to say that it doesn't exist, because all of them use the stupid bar movement and you can't tell nothing. But having a play with motion in it, and that actually looked pretty good. It was done impressively. So I think your play rendering is good. I like it. Um, Dude, he could have ran on that one. Oh, look at that. Oh, that looked on target to me, man. That's a fire the receiver play. Oh, sack. Bummer. And so much for that. 3rd and 6. 4th and 11. Oh, guess we're playing. I think the ball moves too slow. Is it just me, or does that feel like it's too slow for a punt? Maybe it's not. I just feel like something like the pace of the game is too slow. But that could just be because it's digital players, and I like the way it kind of has the quarterback sliding around like he's actually trying to look for a spot. He's not just sitting there waiting. And I say that like it's a standout, but it is a standout. A lot of games don't. They just have the guy run back and then he finds a person and he throws it. Um, One of the better, what I would call small-ish company, uh, actually simulated games that I've seen is called Big Win Football. It's on the mobile device, and it doesn't have much in the way of back end management. So you have a little bit. You have some cards and your players represented, but it's pretty basic stuff. But the simulation actually has football players on the field, and it only runs like 4 formations, a few play options. I mean, really, there's not much. It's very basic, but it makes a really nice. It looks really good as far as rendering goes, and that's kind of what I want to shoot for. But I doubt I'll get to that level, especially on the first run, especially without some programming help. Already call it animation. It's not the programming that's the problem. It's the animations and the art and the characters and all that stuff that's going to be challenging for me. But I want to get them to at least a basic state of, of functional. That said, it does a really nice job. But the quarterback goes back, steps back, does his thing, and throws the ball. He doesn't move. There's no scrambling. And if he does scramble, it's play over, right? He's not gonna stop at the line and throw like the guy did on this game. So I'm saying right now, you guys executed very well how this functions. I'm actually very impressed. Holy moly. Oh, wow. Accept or decline flag. I assume I probably declined the penalty, right? First 10 on own 48. On opponent 37. Wait, 1st and 10 on own 48, or accept the penalty, 1st and 10 on opponent 37. Oh, so it's after the play? Oh, we'll take that one. So what was it? A personal foul? I guess I didn't read it. I probably should have read it. Because usually if it's after, I would decline it to get the big play, but apparently it must have been a personal foul after the catch, which tacks on to it. Huh. By the way, you might want to explain that, guys, in your game. Not everybody knows. I mean, if somebody's kind of new to football or they don't fully understand, you say 37 on opponent's 37. Not everybody knows that means going further into the other side of the field, right? I mean, 30 opponent 37, own 48. Not everybody understands that. Yes. Oh, look at that. Oh, touchdown. Check that out, man. Who was that? Roddy Towns. I don't know, man. That was a good run, dude. He breaks one loose. He's going. He's hesitating. It's slow motion, so it's kind of weird. Oh, and he dodges that guy who fell flat on his face, apparently. And then he just basically outran the other guys. Again, another plus. A lot of games like this. I don't think I need to go for 2. Oh, am I going for 2? Oh no, he's not. Okay, a lot of games. This is a knock on other games, not yours. You did a great job with this. Speed matters. If your players have a speed that's faster than the guys behind them, they don't get caught by the guys behind them. So many games decide, oh, well, if it's a long run, then suddenly people start catching up. Like the guy with the ball is going to be sluggish all of a sudden. He's going to get tired. The ball's really heavy and he can't carry it after 20 or 30 yards. And people just catch up. And it's like, so a game like Big Win Football does this. If you get a ball and you're 25 yards ahead of anybody, but you've got 60 yards to go to get the touchdown, you will get caught and probably tackled by the time you get to the 20. It doesn't matter who it is. You can get the fastest receiver on your team. The other team's going to catch you. You are not going to get an 80-yard play. I've never seen a big play on either side of the ball because the game has this built-in catch-up, literally built a catch-up mechanic that allows the other teams to catch up. And I go, why do games do that? A lot of games do that where you effectively, if you're, will get caught. A lot of the mobile games do that. Retro Bowl. You can't tell again with some of the simulation games because they don't show the simulation, so you don't know what's happening there. And sometimes there is a big play, so whatever they're doing counts it. Maybe it was just long pass. I don't know. But so I think my Roddy Townsend here is going to have some serious stats by the time this is over. There's only 11 minutes left. Look at that. Oh, Townsend is going. He is out of here. Towns Heath. Dude, just broke it for a, what is that, a 69-yard touchdown? Holy frijoles, dude. You smoking them. That is impressive, except this slow motion replay is going to be painful. That's a painful play. Watching that go in slow motion. Okay, 69 yards of slow motion. I can see slow motion is supposed to be the highlight part of the game, right? It's like he reaches out, catches the ball. That's the slow motion. He spins and jukes somebody. That's slow motion. Slow motioning for 69 yards is a long slow motion, and it's not necessary. But hey, I get it. It's cool. I don't fully. I can kind of see like maybe the slow motion of the stuff happening around the goal line, but when you're out in the open, that time for the slow motion to speed up again. You know, there's a point where slow motion is not is too much. It's cool though. It's a nice little feature. I think that can be an adjustment in time. If you ever do, I have 12 viewers. Woohoo! Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming by and saying hi, man. That's oh my gosh, did he just score on me? Whatever. Come on, you guys, you can't win. You might as well just lie down and give up. Okay, so, but again, so this is going to be another painful one. I am going to skip it because I don't want to watch the other guy do a slow motion on me. But yeah, they got to fix. again, I don't necessarily knock that. This game's been out for exactly 2 days, and I think that's a minor thing. I think that's something they can work on. Some kind of adjustment to how slow motion works. I like it to a point. These are just circles running up and down the field, though, so there's only so much drama that can be in a slow motion play with circles on the field. But I still think there are times, like maybe when he's in the crowd, like I said, if there's a lot of players around, that's a good place for slow motion. Ooh, look, he juked that guy. He juked that guy. He broke through that guy. Um, but if he's got 70 yards worth of running open field, no. I think does this game do anything like, say, I don't see it. Is there a game log? Stuff happening on the, like the play call, so and so gets the ball. I don't see any. Honestly, I don't know that it's required. There are points if you could, like, again, I'm giving suggestions assuming that they want to make updates to their game. And it's because, again, I now consider myself a what am I gotta accept. So I get it on my own 38 or my own 18. Well, okay, so we'll take it on my own 38. So it's not always clear. Remember, if you don't know football, some penalties take place instead of your play, and some penalties take place in addition to your play. So pay attention to those yardages, because sometimes if you're not, you're like, oh yeah, I'll accept the penalty, and you just lost 20 yards because they only gave you the 5-yard offside penalty and you had a 20-yard gain. And sometimes it's the other way around, like it's a personal foul that happened after the play, which would extend your play and make it go farther. So you got to pay attention to those yards and understand the timing of the play. So it's where you end up on the field that matters in most cases. There are scenarios that taking the play might, like, give you a first down, whereas you wouldn't get that. Like, if it's less than a first down, you might think, oh, well, it's better take 5 yards in a first down instead of 8 yards in fourth down, right? So you kind of have to decide that too. But when you're dealing with penalties, that's kind of a thing if you're making those decisions. I kind of like I said, I like letting my team, my coach do it. I don't. This is a big fix. Uh, Again, who was the name of the people who did this? Um, you need to make a way to make coach pick automatic. If I don't want to pick my own plays, and I like to watch the game, let it run. Wow, look at that reverse. That was really cool. You guys have some cool plays in here. I'm gonna say that there are some cool plays. They seem to execute nice. There's a nice flow to how these plays are executing, even with just circles. And kudos on that. I hope my game does it at least as good as that. And like I said, as far as it goes, I really like the way your simulation's happening. Dude, look, there's 4 minutes left. Team, you need to cut this guy down here, all right? I mean, no, I don't think it's... That guy's kind of open. Tackle him! Did he get a first down? Oh my gosh. All right, well, I am up 30-14. I think it's unlikely he's going to get 16 points. But could be wrong on that. A sack. There we go. It pushes him back a little bit. We need to stop him. Do you even kick a field goal here? I don't think you can kick a field goal. 16 points is a touchdown and a 2-point conversion as the goal, right? Oh my gosh. Oh, nasty. All right, you gonna kick? You go for 2? Are they going for 2? What are they gonna do? They should go for 2. Yeah, here it goes. See, the logic in here is smart. It knows, but you didn't get it, so you suck. So you need 10 points, which means you need 2 scores to beat me. Okay, so this is a they are not using the dynamic kick rules. I just realized that. Dynamic kick rules, which are what the NFL currently uses, um, would not have him kicking from the line with all the players. It's a weird thing, but look at motion. Dudes, I really like your plays. You guys created some cool design plays that run really nice on the game. They look really good. I hope mine look that good. I or run that smooth when my game gets to that point. But I mean, I'm working on the rendering of my game now, but all I've got it doing is the kickoff, which was the dynamic kickoff, the pain in the butt one, where you got weird kicks and everybody doesn't move at the same time, and yeah, that's all I've done so far. I've got the kick, everybody runs out. So one of the things that almost every game does, including yours, which isn't necessarily bad. Again, this isn't a knock, but and it might be one of those things that I take out of my game or make an option to turn it off if people don't want it. I actually have my players run on and off the field. So when I have subs, they come from, if they're not on the field already, they come onto the field, and other players who aren't supposed to be in the play run off the field. And the same with the kickoff, players run onto the field before the kickoff and they run off the field, that kind of thing. I kind of have them moving kind of fast, so it doesn't take long, so you're not waiting forever. But at the same time, I think a lot of the how players move around and where they move to is done really well by your game. I like the smoothness of the way the players are moving, even if they are just circles. Again, that's going to be always a thing to me. Even if they are, even if they are just circles, I got to knock you for something. But that's way better than bars. Oh, I can kneel. 31 seconds. Oh, I guess the rule is you kneel, right? 4th and 1. 4th and 1. Where's the go for it? Where's the go for it? I want to go for it. No, all right, let's just kneel. I'm going to call my first play and it's going to be the kneel. He must have no timeouts left. Okay, so there you go. There's the end of that game. The first game in the Football Dynasty Manager for me. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. And I like it, guys. I think again, the only thing you need to add is a way to sim the game by way of letting the coach do the job. Versus I do what I think it should do, and this I'm giving you examples that I've already got in my game that I'm making your game. I'm telling you to do stuff that I would do because I'm doing it. So maybe this is bad for me. It's probably bad for me. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. But I can't help it. I got to tell you what I think is what you can do to improve it in my eyes. And I am just average Joe football fan. Okay, so there's other people might look at it and go, yeah, I don't need all that crap. So let's put it this way. If other people are seeing this, I think they will judge it on what it is. And I think they'll judge it well. I think you have a good simulation right there, the game simulation. If the simulation is important to them, you did pretty good. But I do think you need to have a way to sim the coach so the coach can just do his job. And then maybe show the play the coach selected. Highlight it or something. Just say you're simming the coach and then show that play. Maybe show your same dialogue and have a button at the top that says automatically sim coach or some kind of trigger that says the coach thing is on. And then if you could turn it off when the screen comes up again if you don't want to let the coach pick. But then have the play that the coach picks get highlighted. Just so that you can kind of know what your coach is picking. Maybe you say, oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't know, whatever. Or maybe you don't like the plays he's calling. That'll give you an idea on how to go and manage your coach later, I guess. But that's just my one suggestion for that. Otherwise, it looks good. So if I had two suggestions for you, slow motion should only be where there's a lot of players involved, something in the crowd, because it is just circles movement. So unless there's something dramatic that can happen, the slow motion doesn't really mean anything. So watching a guy maybe move around in a crowd in slow motion is cool, but once he's out in the open, you need to speed it up because watching 60-yard slow motion is painful. And the second one is make your coaches have an automatic option, not just sim to end of drive or sim to end of quarter, but actually sim coach play calling or something. I don't know, something like that. All right, let's see what you got here for the summaries. I think not much detail here. Where's the defensive summary that says break passes, breakers rushing? Oh, is that my... Oh, breakers is the other team. Oh, peaks. Oh, okay, so peaks, breakers, peaks. Okay, so you got passing. So apparently you never had your backup pass. I guess that's possible. What about... Where's the defensive stats? No defensive stats? Nothing that shows like how many sacks I got, any tackles, pressures. I mean, I know I had some interceptions. I mean, the interceptions are turnovers right here. Breakers had 2. There were 3 sacks, but it doesn't say who got them. A little scarce here. Could use a little bit more. Let's go and save the result. Let's get out of here. First pro win. I got to figure out how to do that. That's going to be cool. When you put them on the Steam channel, shows. So I am 30-20. I'm undefeated. So you know I'm going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm undefeated. one game in. I notice there aren't any preseason. I haven't decided if I'm going to try to squeeze preseason into my game or not. I feel like you should, because I think for me, everything the players do have an effect on how they improve. Everything they do has an effect on how they improve. Their games, their success in practice, everything. They get experience from that. So by having preseason games, players can improve. So I probably should have preseason games. So that gives you a chance to have some of those rookies earn experience that might make a difference in them making the team. So yeah, I'll probably have preseason games in mind. Right now, the only thing I'm working on is I'm doing quick plays because it's the easiest thing to make sure all my skills work and my ratings work. And then I'll build the scheduling system and have the league that you've built actually have a schedule that you can play through. And I'll do that one once I get the game to fully render. So we'll get there with that. But anyhow, is there more information here? Let's see. This is another page. Here's the box score. Okay, so this is where you get a little bit more. I don't know why it gave such a small taste on the original save. I'm not sure why there is even a save. To me, that feels like I don't like how this came out, so I'm not going to save it and play it again. That is not good. That is not how a football game should be. I don't think users should have the option to say, oh, yuck, I got creamed. Let's try that again. And, I don't think that's how any game should be. I think when a game is, honestly, this is how a game should be. And I don't know what you got going in here, and if in any way, shape, or form any of that's happening. Every play that runs is saved. Soon will come. Oh my gosh. You ask that every time you come around. But I think every play in a game is saved. In fact, if you're doing pre-rendering at all, which you probably aren't because you're allowing the user to pick the play. But the game as it's progressing should save every play. That's it. There's no going back. If you stop a game, quit a game, if you're not running the game all the way through, then that game has to be completed starting at the point it was last saved, which is at the end of every play. Don't let people be weenies. Don't let people be weenies. If a person doesn't like losing, they shouldn't be playing a sports game because you're going to lose. there's no manipulating a game. So, hey, I was undefeated in my first season. I had to rerun a couple of my games 15 times to get my win, but I was undefeated. Now, that's bull cockamamie, man. I don't care if you're playing a rookie. I don't care if you're a beginner. I don't care what your reasoning is. If you lose a game, you lose a game, man. Man up, or woman up if you're not a man, I suppose. But anyway, um, that's my feeling on that. All right, so let's see how my team did on defense. Let's see, we got defense. I had some Dushawn Johnson, inside linebacker, 11 tackles, not bad. 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass defended. Dude, he was on. And this guy, 2 tackles for a loss and 2 sacks. So Jaden Thompson and Dushawn there were stars. That's some good play for first game of the season. Now, granted, doesn't look like this guy did much outside of that. All he did the whole game was get 2 sacks and 2 tackles for a loss. That's actually really good. When he did stuff, it was important. It was big. And a couple of guys had 4 tackles, I guess. Denver Peaks kick returns. How was my kick returns? My long was 25. Punt returns, peak kicking. How did I do? 3 for 3 on extra points. 3 for 3 on field goals. 49-yarder. That's not too bad. How did this guy do? He never even kicked a field goal. 2 for 2 on extra points. All right, what else we got here? I don't care that much about the other team. I mean, who does? But oh, can I click on these guys and get more details? I'm getting the finger. Getting the finger. Not that finger, this finger. The finger that points at stuff. The pointer finger. All right, so let's see what we got. We got what happened. Oh, so this should show some stats, right? So we got stats now. Cool. So the back of my player cards on mine will show stats to a point. But I'm nervous, and this is one of the things I always say I'm nervous about, because every game I see show these player screens, they're big. Mine is not that big. Well, here's the thing. It's not that big because my game is designed for mobile and PC. And so the card can only get as big as the mobile device can get, right? Only to the height of the mobile device. And since their aspect ratio is fixed, it can only get as tall as your mobile device is. So you're looking at that. But when you look on a computer, it's bigger. It will get as big as your screen is, but only to the height of your screen, which means it's a good size card. But it won't be as wide as this. This is like a big square, and mine is like a big card, so it would be shaped like a card, like a 2x5 card. Wait, 2x3.5. I think that's what the size of most cards are. I think it's about that size. So we now have stats. Oh, I didn't even realize that there was stuff on here for other seasons. Do they generate preseason stuff? So they just give you some random garbage? Because they couldn't have played out all these seasons for you. So they must have just generated some random stats for these guys. Or they came into the league with some random stats. Does it actually show college football career? Wow, they actually show college football stuff. So yeah, they must give you the game with a bunch of stats already for the players. Stuff that's from the past. Or it generates it. Because at the beginning, there's a period of loading where it looks like it's prepping stuff. It must be prepping the stats. Okay, so all right, so at this point, I think I'm ready to give my final, shall I say, first looks review. Okay, so on a grand scale of 1 to 10 for a football management simulation, this might be top 2 or 3 simulation games that I have played. And I've only been playing this game for 1 game. And I'll tell you why I think that. One, I like the sim, and I think it's got room for improvement. Yes, if you put something in to simulate all the way through with like allowing the coach to pick the plays and maybe just showing what play he's picking, I think that'll move that up a lot in my board. And I know you can skip the replay, but in the same way, I figured, maybe not do, maybe make slow motion a click, you know, then you can decide, you can slow motion it when you want to, you can just let it go slow motion, not slow motion. It'll run at normal speed and then you can do slow motion where you want it. Something like that. Those are the only two things I really think would make quality of life better on the simulation. But otherwise, I think it's great. I love the play animations. You have motion. You have stuff that looks like the quarterback is actually making decisions, which is the way a sim should be, and that's what I'm designing into mine. Where, I mean, he'll run to the line of scrimmage and he'll still throw the ball, or sometimes he'll run the ball. So you've got some good logic going on in there. And honestly, a lot of people look at these games and go, "Oh, that's AI crap. It's vibe coded, blah blah blah." That that is not vibe coded. You've got some logic in there. And if it is vibe coding, no, no, I refuse to believe it's vibe coded without significant developer input. I'm not saying you didn't use AI to help you code it. I don't know that. Maybe you did. But the use of AI is not vibe coding. Okay, so anybody out there thinks the use of AI is vibe coding, all it is if used correctly, it's a tool that allows you to get more coding done. It's a speed up tool. Done correctly, you can be a very talented developer who uses AI, and if you use it correctly, you can make better games faster, better than a person by themselves would normally be able to do, or even a small team or whatever. But I feel like there's too much going on there that looks well done to me, that implies this game is not all AI. Now, whether or not, I believe, yeah, it's possible you have some AI images and AI, maybe even AI helped you build the layout. I don't know. Because the reason I say that is because that is the one knock I would put against this game. That's, if my most negative mark is, it looks like all the other sim games. All the other not all of them, but a lot of the other management games. It looks like front office football. It looks like college football Dynasty. There's a couple of mobile games that even kind of use the same basic color schemes, kind of grayish colors with white. Oh yeah, when do you want to go? You want to go like 5 minutes? Okay, yeah. No. All right, so I got to be wrapping this up. Let me just say this. I'm gonna give it a 7. Now, is that too big? Too high? I haven't actually given full on ratings to other games yet, and maybe it'll change in time when they improve it. But right now, of the games I played, and what I know, that could change if I play a few more weeks of it and they go, "Oh, okay, wait a minute, this doesn't do that, or doesn't." And this happens to me a lot in games. But initial impressions is this is a 7. It's worth trying out. If you like management sims, it's not very gamified in my opinion. It's still just a lot of lists, a lot of pages of stuff, and I think there's things that can be better. But it's only been out for a couple of days, and maybe they'll improve it or change it. But we'll see how the devs respond. But check it out. I think it's worth it. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 right now. And that is one of the highest ratings I can honestly say I could give to any game right now that I've played. I don't know that I would give any other game a 7 right now. I haven't played Front Office Football 9, but I feel like I might even say for complexity, this one's up there, kind of high, and that's almost a knock against it. There's a point where a bar for complexity, right, is too low and too high. This is leaning on the too high. But as far as the stuff you can do, but I don't know. Let me play it a little bit. Maybe that'll change. Maybe I'll feel like it's perfect. I don't know. Is my game going to be different? Yes. It's not my game, but that doesn't have to be. There's plenty of good games out there that do similar stuff and they do it differently. So that's fine. I don't feel, it's not the kind of game that I feel threatened by, but it's also a good option for people out there. Till next time, God bless.